This sidewalk's too small to have a scooter parked like this. How am I supposed to get by it? Hmm? Supposed to be 5 foot there, you bonehead.
Mind imagining state of life I pray to find, inspire, and react in authenticity to every action. Honestly, I'm lost in passion. On to bring my cause to action, solve the map, then fall asleep. Different realms that met through trip to mean inside my mental leave. The key of life, a stencil, bonding, fun and peace in myself. Wait, look, meditation, the resolve my fate. Every day I think lost if life, think lost in life, fight life like a boss. I played in the game, in the day, on the same, many brains, many pains, many lanes to relate to. While you moderate what you do to escape ridicule, to attain proof. It's solely yourself you can't group any piece of your being with a man who into true base self with the main root. When your own signature resonate use in the cake with the great stains of the strange fruit. But the world could have held when I'm true. But the self to the soul and the part of the moon to the self to propel to the heights of truth. Like I know I can travel time, often lost the sense of time inside my mind from all the crime that underlies reality. Blinding light encompassing ascending mind imagining state of life I pray to find inspire and react in authenticity to every action. Honestly, I'm lost in passion. Wanna bring my cause to action, solve the map, then fall asleep. Different realms that met through trip to mean inside my mental leave. The key of life is stencil, fun and peace. Life is a game, it's the matrix. Hide the persona from God. Scatter yourself so you damage yourself and rely on control of mind. Externally, honestly, is what I mean to say T, cause I'm leaving me to my knees. The qualities that they seek, that to deceive, and the meat of the scene and the inner pieces within. Ego creation of sin. An evil relation and hating himself to respond to the dangerous sin. Ego, I mean.
Personally, an angel. We can all look back and see miraculous experiences and events in our lives that are unexplainable. Things we can't explain as normal or natural. No human explanation. How a circumstance was changed to our advantage. Or we had that brush with death or that near accident and something happened and you just sense, when you look back on it, that you were divinely protected. That some
That got the entire sidewalk blocked with this junk. And well, the only thing I can do is remove it from my eyesight. Blocking the sidewalk. I swear these people that ride them ain't got a lick of sense.
Host Brendan Fallon shares highlights from his interview with U.S. military veteran and cardiothoracic surgeon Alan Davies.
And the practice of medical surgery, it's a huge topic in Hollywood. There's been so many shows about this. MASH was a long-running series that was set in Korea, but it was actually based on the surgery and everything that was taking place in Vietnam. And I had the opportunity to speak to a surgeon who was there in Vietnam and experiencing the tragedy of that, and also the challenges and also the opportunities for innovation that war provided. And his name is Lieutenant Colonel Alan Davies. And the first soundbite we'll play here is when he basically just come out of his residency in surgery and lands there in Da Nang, 1967, to perform his duty as a Marine performing surgery. From the time you arrived in Vietnam, what was the first thing you encountered?
Well, I touched down at Da Nang and I got a chopper ride the next day down to the 40 miles south to the surgical hospital, the second surge, which was on a bluff overlooking the South China Sea. And as soon as I arrived at the second surgical hospital, it was around noon. Somebody, one of the medics came up to me and said, Davies, you're the chest guy. They need you in OR 3 right now. I proceeded to OR 3 of the hospital, which was pretty dungy, grungy looking buildings. After my changing into my scrubs, I went into the OR, and there were two surgeons there frantically trying to stop the bleeding from the chest of a young Vietnamese girl who was really a montagnard, which was with the people of the Central Highlands. And this girl had sustained a wound of the left upper chest, and the two surgeons who were working on her were not able to stop the bleeding. I suggested that they pack the wound and we open the chest through a formal incision, and they grudgingly complied. I was able to get the chest open and get control of the root of the lung and stop the bleeding with several clamps. And then was able to remove the part of the lung that was injured. We were able to transfuse the young lady, and the operation was very successful.
Wow, that's a very interesting story there. And apparently, U.S. military surgeons actually serviced Vietnam civilians during the war. That's very interesting.
Yeah, this is a little known fact in the kind of representation we see about the Vietnam War. And not just Vietnamese civilians, they were also performing surgery and saving the lives of Viet Cong, the U.S. Marine Service hospitals that were there. And this led to a situation in some cases where Viet Cong would even, due to the treatment they'd received, they would then provide intelligence to the U.S. forces that was beneficial to their operations there.
And I believe you brought another clip for us. Would you like to introduce that one?
Sure. So the Battle of Khe Sanh, it's a really famous battle in the Vietnam War, a turning point in the war. This is beginning of 1968. And this is a battle that Dr. Alan Davies got called into. So the situation was such that the Marines were basically in a fishbowl and were being shot at like fish in a barrel from the Viet Cong, which were had the elevated ground. And here, Lieutenant Colonel Davies describes the situation that he encountered when he arrived there.
There were about 4 quad 50s in my eyesight that were firing, also artillery and mortars going off. We were taking some incoming at the time, and the war was really going on, but we had 40 guys that needed to be taken care of, and we were able to do some preliminary triage, and we had 17 or 18 of them had lower extremity wounds, which could be taken care of pretty easily. But we had several chest injuries and abdominal injuries that required immediate care. And we were obviously in the boonies and didn't have an awful lot to go with. I had to do 3 operations out in the open with a litter on horses, with the sun as the operating room light, and thank God we had an excellent anesthesiologist who could put these 2 of these guys to sleep, and we were able to open their abdomen and sew up the 4 or so wounds in the intestine of one boy, and a stomach wound in the neck on another boy, and a colon wound in the third, and actually get them off the makeshift horse operating table, and was able to get chest tubes into the boys that had chests full of blood, and we were able to get their lungs re-expanded and out of danger. Luckily, when we arrived there, we had about 100 units of blood that were packed in dry ice that we were able to use on these guys. But while we were doing this, there was a lot of action going on, and the next day, a couple of dust-off choppers appeared unannounced, and we were able to evacuate most of those guys into 2 dust-offs. They were accompanied by 11 or 12 gunships, and we were able to get the walking wounded away from the harm's way. But nobody came to pick us up, so we were still there, and they said that it was going to get hot again.
Wow, that's incredible.
And in the full interview, he actually also talked about how he managed to stave off PTSD, right? Maybe you can talk to us about that just briefly.
Sure. Like you can imagine, under that situation, you're performing surgery, and you got bombs going off around you, you got bullets flying, and he said that one of the main things that he attributes to getting through that experience was his exquisite level of training. So he knew exactly what he was doing. He knew what he had to do to save lives in that situation. So I guess he had that reward alongside the tragedy of everything he was experiencing. He was saving lives, and that really offset the kind of stress that he was under.
Okay, well, Brandon, I'm very intrigued. And for anyone who would like to see the full interview, you can go to Vital Signs on Epoch TV. So, interview on surgery under fire in Vietnam. Go to your web browser and enter ept.ms/war-surgery.